In this video, I'm going to give you the 10 most simple, underrated habits to get lean fast, especially if you're starting at 30%. I used these exact habits to go from 20% body fat 5 weeks ago to now being under 12%. And I'm going to keep using them to reach my goal of going below 10% body fat. Yo, bro, my name is Jas and I help people with full-time commitment get in the best shape of their lives. And if you watch to the end of this video, I promise it will be impossible for you to not get lean. So let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Habit number 1 is what most people get wrong on the internet when they try and give you advice. They tell you 10 to 15k steps a day, but I'm going to tell you the real advice, which is 100,000 steps every single week. The reason that the 10k advice doesn't work is because it's a daily metric. It sets you up for failure. Imagine the times when you've just done 5k on a random Tuesday because you were busy, and now you don't feel great because you're like, I should have done 10k. And then maybe you have to sacrifice time with your family or doing whatever you actually wanted to do that day to go ahead and get these next 5k steps in. When in reality, the real advice is 100,000 steps a week, because it's all about weekly averages. There's no point tying success to a daily metric, because if you falter during the week, which happens to all of us because we've all got full-time commitments, then you can always make it up later on. So the absolute best way to get this 100,000 in every single week is that during the week, when you're busy, Monday to Friday, just do 7 to 8,000 on those days. Maybe you even end up hitting 10k on some days. Just aim for that kind of number. But then on the weekend, take 2 big walks. Big adventures, go into like a nature reserve, take loved ones with you, or maybe you want to get some time away from those people, so you just put in their earphones, listen to an audiobook. And bro, the benefits of walking are so much better than the benefits of cardio. So yeah, cardio can help you lose fat. However, it makes you super hungry and it makes you super tired. Habit number 2 is another big misconception. People think that you have to eat like 150, 180, 200 grams of protein a day. And yes, protein is important. And that's why habit number 2 is to track it, but you don't have to overeat on protein on your carb. The research finds that 0.8 grams per pound of body weight is completely sufficient. The real thing that keeps your muscle during the cut, and that's what most people are worried about, is that if I don't eat enough protein, I'm not going to keep my muscle in the cut. So we have to ask the question, well, what is the real thing that keeps your muscle in the cut? And the real thing is progressive overload in the gym. Hence why you should be eating more carbs, because carbs are the primary source of energy in the gym. However, obviously protein is still important to build the muscle back up while you're recovering. So how are we going to track it? All you got to do is pick a couple sources of protein. It could be a powder, it could be chicken breast, it could be eggs, it could be fish. Just pick a few sources of protein that you're going to cycle throughout the week and just calculate how many grams you need per day using the formula I gave you earlier, and then divide that by 2 or 3 depending on how many times you want to intake protein. I personally do 3. I take a powder, I do eggs, and I do chicken breast or steak, and that comes in under 3 different kind of meal timings, right? The protein powder happens in the morning, the meal number 1 happens after gym, and meal number 2 happens for dinner time. And the secret tip here is that if you struggle to get your protein in, just have a set time where you intake 30 grams. So think about how much 30 grams is. It's like 1 scoop of whey. The easiest way to do this that I found is just take a scoop of whey in the morning. That is the easiest way to make sure you hit your protein goals, because for me, my body weight in pounds is about 140. So being able to hit 140 times 0.8 is about 120. So doing a scoop of protein in the morning is already just leaving me with 90 grams throughout the day. I can hit that effortlessly. And once you realize, number 1, you don't have to overeat on protein. And number 2, do the secret tip, the Jas method. Just take a protein scoop every morning, or take 30 grams in any other way. It could literally be through Greek yogurt, it could be through egg whites, and just have that as a staple, same time every single day. Preferably, if you're doing it in the morning, it's protein powder. And in the evening, if you want to do it before bed, you can have it as part of like a dessert, like literally like Greek yogurt style dessert, and you'll easily intake that 30 grams. Then you don't have to worry about hitting it throughout the day, because it's going to be so effortless. You're going to have 90 to 120 to hit throughout the day, and that is not that hard at all. Habit number 3, aesthetic resistance training. This is going to help you not come out of the cut and look like some type of runner who's just finished a marathon, super dehydrated, no muscle, nothing like that. We want to make sure that you look absolutely pristine after the cut. This goes for males and females, right? So men, we've got muscles that create that V-taper shape, and women, we've got the, well, not we, but you guys have got that hourglass shape. And you can build these muscles to actually accentuate hourglass, or for men, accentuate the V-taper. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the aesthetic muscles, and we're going to only train them for strength in the gym. And by strength, I mean, depending on the muscle size, we're going to go from either about 5 to 8 reps for bigger muscles like the chest or the glutes for ladies, or for smaller muscles like for men and women both, we should be both training lateral delts to accentuate our shapes that we want. And those muscles, we go from about 8 to 12 reps. The absolute best way to do this is to select the 5 lifts that you want to increase, and those are tied in with the aesthetic muscles. Now this is where aesthetic strength training comes in, is that you track those lifts, you make sure you're going up. And the reason we're doing it for only 5 lifts is because your body's only got so much resource for recovery when you're on the cut. You can't just keep recovering every single muscle because we're not eating that much food, we're in a deficit. So we've got to be very strategic with which muscles we want to grow. Now for ladies, obviously it's going to be stuff like the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the lateral delts, the lats, the abs. You can take your selection out of all of those. Which ones do you think you're lagging on? Which ones do you think you want to bring up? For men, it's going to be lateral delts, maybe front delts, upper chest, biceps, lats, abs. And if you want to bring up a different muscle like the triceps, you can do that. If you want to bring up your traps, you can do that. But I personally believe the aesthetic V-taper / hourglass look, depending on your gender, those are the muscles you should be accentuating. And by the way, if you want this in a written format, I've got a free workout plan and I'm going to send it to you on Instagram. All you got to do is scroll down to the description right now, click my Instagram link, DM me the word free plan, let me know that you came from YouTube, because I love to hear when people say that, and then literally just drop me the message. I'll send you the free plan over, and yeah, enjoy. Habit number 4, I call it the sleep shield. Now the reason I call it that is because as you get further and further into your cut, you're going to find that you can't sleep as good. So what's going to happen is you get into bed, you're all cozy, but your eyes are wide open, you're staring at the ceiling, and you just feel wired. You feel like, I need to do something. The reason why that is because your kind of primitive side of your brain, it's called the amygdala, it's upset, it's looking for food. It feels like we're being starved here. So what we're going to do is we're going to trick our brain. We're going to override the feeling of not being able to sleep. And the reason you can't sleep, we've got to go back to first principles, is like, okay, we're in a state of fight or flight. We are in a state of looking for food. Our body is in a state of hunger. So it's literally craving certain foods. Now your body's going to be releasing cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And that actually inhibits the release of the sleep hormone melatonin. And what we're going to do to counter this is we're going to take a tiny bit of carbs. What I like to do is just half a potato. So I usually have 2 potatoes with dinner. Now I just have 1.5 and I save half for later. And I eat that an hour before bedtime. The reason why is because when you eat those carbs, your insulin actually goes up. So the sleep shield is just a piece of complex carbs, something small. Half a potato I think is the absolute best, the pinnacle of this is what works best for me. I've tried bananas, I've tried rice. Potatoes works the best. And what you want to do is take that half potato, eat it before bedtime, an hour before, and it's going to spike your insulin. Your insulin rises, and because insulin and cortisol have got an inverse relationship, your cortisol drops. Your body feels satiated, and now your body releases melatonin and you can sleep so much better. I wanted to add a bonus tip here with what to do with your other carbs throughout the day. You might be wondering, you just got to structure them around your workout. The best thing to do is to have simple carbs just before you train, which is like bananas, fruits, and then you want to have simple carbs just after you train, so maybe another banana or half a banana, and then you want to eat a big carb heavy meal after training within about 2.5 hours of finishing. This is gonna fuel, number 1, the carbs before fuel your muscles, and number 2, the carbs after replenish the glycogen in the muscle so that it can recover properly. If you're always feeling sore in the gym, try this next time you go. Just do the carb timing around your training. You're going to feel so much different. Habit number 5 is to sleep at least 7 hours a night. And the reason why I say at least 7 is because I know we've got busy schedules and it's not always like appropriate to get 8 to 9 hours every night. And to be honest, bro, 7 hours is enough to recover as long as you do the miniature tips that I'm going to tell you within this habit. Number one is to blast a fan or air conditioning, or maybe keep a window open. And that's because a cold room actually helps your body to cool down and release melatonin, the sleep hormone. So tonight, literally blast a fan, blast your AC, get it done. Try it out. You might be cold at first, but what the hell is the blanket for? What are your clothes for? Like, oh, maybe you don't sleep with any. Okay, whatever, bro. Like, just put the blanket on, man, and put the AC on. Keep it nice and cold. You're gonna realize that, damn, I actually slept through the night really well. And maybe you even fall asleep faster. That's what's gonna happen, man. That's what I find happens. When I'm really hot throughout the night or when I can't sleep, it's usually because of temperature. That's the number one thing that will help you sleep better. Another tip for sleep is set yourself an alarm 9 hours before you want to wake up. Have an alarm for 9 hours before. So if you want to wake up at like, let's say 7 a.m, have an alarm for 10 p.m. that goes off on your phone. And that means, okay, house is shut off. You shut off everything. You go to the kitchen, you turn off the lights. You go to your bedroom, you turn on like a small lamp, warm kind of lighting, or maybe you just don't have any lights whatsoever, use your phone torch, you go ahead and brush your teeth. That alarm is your signal to say, get ready for bed. And you're basically training your brain to know when bedtime is, and this trains your circadian rhythm. And that leads into my next point of sleeping and waking up at the exact same time every day, including weekends. Because what happens is, for most people that I see, right, they actually have a pretty good time between about Wednesday to Friday in terms of their diet, then their training, their lifestyle, everything's on point. Then what happens is Saturday, Sunday comes about, their sleep schedule gets messed up, and then by the time it's Monday, they're super tired because they've had to force themselves awake on this alarm. Now Monday, they barely drag through it, they feel like terrible, they're like, oh yeah, maybe I should just take a rest day off the gym, I don't feel great. Tuesday comes around, their body's still recovering from that weekend when they just like messed up their sleep schedule. Now they're in a position where Wednesday comes along, they feel good again because they're back into their routine. But now they've only got 3 days out of 7 where they're actually performing at a high level. So what we want to do is make sure that if we're waking up at the same time on Saturday and Sunday, it's a time that's consistent, it's a time that's sustainable. I think 6 to 7 a.m. is pretty sustainable and consistent for everyone. You might be like, no man, I want to like sleep in, I want to relax. But the real relaxation is just making sure you sleep properly. So all the tips that I've given you so far, they'll help you sleep properly. And I understand some nights you're probably going to go like a little bit over your bedtime and stuff. But look, you want to make this happen. You want to get lean, you want to cut properly. Let's be professionals about it. Even in our sleep, you should really care for yourself. This is your health, this is your body. Treat it like that. Treat it like the precious gift that it is. And the final mini tip within habit number 5 is to just not have any water an hour and a half to an hour before you sleep, because you don't want to be waking up in the middle of the night just to go toilet. So tonight, even when you have that bedtime alarm set, just stop drinking water. And if you haven't set that bedtime alarm, go and set it right now. Literally get off YouTube, go and set the alarm, and let's see what happens, man. You're probably going to be like, damn, I slept really well. The cold room, the bedtime alarm, the same time waking up and sleeping every day. Look, this is all for your benefit. I really want to make sure that you get this result. And if I had to basically force you, I would force you to set this alarm right now, because that is what will get you the actual result that you want. You want to get lean, you want to finally get in shape, you want to feel good every day, you want to have high energy. This is how you do it. Habit number 6, intermittent fasting. What we're going to do is we're going to skip breakfast now every single day. Intermittent fasting is just when you have a block of time in the morning or at any time during the day. The morning is usually the best because you're already fasted from the night time, and you just don't eat for the first 4 to 6 hours. And what that helps you with is it gives you a sharp, clear brain where you can go ahead, bang out your tasks that you need to be doing. Maybe it's work tasks, maybe it's like you're a business owner, and you will have crazy mental clarity. But that's not the main thing. The main thing is, now that we have this block of time where we're not eating, we've actually saved all those calories to help us make the calorie deficit feel easier. So later in the day, you pack your calories. If you have 2,000 calories that you can play with every day, that's your budget. Imagine if you had to basically split that 4 times. You have breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner. Now, that's only 500 calories per meal. As a fully grown adult, you're eating 500 calories a meal. You're gonna feel hungry after every meal. You won't even feel like you're eating enough food. You're gonna feel like, oh man, I wish I could eat more. But the way that you're gonna eat more is you're gonna divide the number of meals that you eat by 2. So now you have 2 meals throughout the day. You have lunch and dinner, big meals, and all you've got to do is skip breakfast. The thing that makes that super easy is just having black coffees and having water in the morning. You can also have black tea. You can have sparkling water if you're like, if you're about that, man. I don't know about all that, but like, you do you. And the caffeine from black coffees or black teas, they actually curb your hunger. Sparkling water, it does fill you up quite a bit more than normal water. And in all honesty, bro, it will be a little bit hard at first just because there's a little adaptation phase. Your body's going to be like, okay, like we always expected food at this time. Every single day for the past few years, this guy eats breakfast, and now you're not eating breakfast, so your body's like spiking the hormones such as the hunger hormone ghrelin at the same time every day, telling you eat, eat, eat. But all you got to do is wait about half an hour. The hunger will begin to subside. You have your black coffee, you have your black tea, whatever, and that will curb hunger. It will stop you feeling hungry. So it's basically a cheat code. And now you've got 2,000 calories and you've only got lunch and dinner and maybe a snack or two in between to finish those 2,000. You can have massive meals now. Your cup will feel flipping effortless. Intermittent fasting is so good. And you might be wondering, oh, but earlier, habit number 2 just said to eat a protein shake in the morning, like a scoop of protein. And yes, I did. Wouldn't that break the fast? Technically, yes, but we're not doing intermittent fasting for autophagy effects or anything like that, like the effects of fasting. We're doing it so we have extra calories to bank on later on. We're doing it so that the cut doesn't feel like a cut. The protein tip still stands. If you want to eat protein every morning and you want to get into that habit because it's easy, just have the scoop of protein with a tiny bit of water. That's all you need to do. Don't be making some actual massive milkshake in the morning, G. You still want to be minimizing the number of calories because the whole point of this is that you have basically no calories in the morning. Yeah, a scoop of protein is like max, 120 calories, right? That's basically negligible. That's like 5% of your like daily total, right? So you can now have 95% that is stacked for the rest of the day, just in 2 meals. You can have 2 massive feasts. You're going to feel amazing. Don't worry about, oh, but I'm breaking my fast. Technically, yes. But in reality, bro, I've been doing this for weeks and weeks now where I just have protein in the morning. My brain still feels sharp. I still drink the black coffees. I still basically just tell myself, yeah, I'm still fasting. Like, bro, it's not that deep, okay? All you got to do is realize the reason we're doing this is to make sure we have enough calories later in the day so that we feel super satiated, we feel super good after every meal. You're not doing this for the fasting effects. You're doing this to make the cut easy. Habit number 7, a fasted walk. Now this pairs super well with intermittent fasting. So the reason we do a fasted walk is literally when you wake up, you haven't eaten anything. All you do is drink water and you go outside and walk. The reason we're going to do this is because your body's already in a fasted state. Muscle glycogen's depleted, liver glycogen's depleted. What is your body going to use for energy? Fat, bro. Your body's going to use fat for energy, bro. So you're in a state now where you've got 30 minutes in the morning just before work. Maybe you wake up a little bit early for this, and I genuinely believe this is a big one because number 1, you're knocking out the steps, and number 2, you're using fat for energy, and number 3, it's super banging for your mental health. You feel like this kind of guy who's just like, yo, I've gone out for a walk, I've actually done something before everyone else at work or like school or wherever you go. You've actually beaten the crowd. So how do you actually do this? All you got to do is when you wake up, you normally brush your teeth, you have your water, and instead of eating breakfast, instead of having a black coffee, instead of doing all of that, just knock out a fasted morning walk. I personally say half an hour is a good amount of time. If you want to do less, you can do less. You can literally just start with 10 minutes. Just go straight outside, 10-minute walk, bang, out the way. You've literally already done 1,000+ steps in the morning. Yeah, that's the best way to start your day. You're telling yourself, I really prioritize this. I really want to get lean, so I'm going to change my habits, my lifestyle. This is what gets you to do it. You have to have this identity switch. You have to be like, look, I'm the kind of guy that goes out and I get my walk in the morning. I'm the kind of guy that I actually take myself seriously. I told myself I'm going to get lean. I've been watching this video by Jas, we're like probably 15 minutes through, and I'm actually going to take this on board. I'm actually going to do this. So tomorrow morning, literally brush your teeth, down some water, and lace up your shoes, man, and go straight outside. Habit number 8, buy a nice water bottle. So you might be like, what is he on about? But look, basically when you cut, drinking water becomes extra important. Having 3 to 4 liters every single day is non-negotiable. If you're a big kind of guy, 4 liters. If you're like a tiny girl, 3 liters. It's non-negotiable. And the reason I say buy a nice water bottle is because when you have this nice water bottle, bro, I've got my beauty right here. This is my best mate. I literally, every single day, I know I'm gonna get enough water in. Number one, because my bottle's huge, it's like 1.2 liters. And number two, because I take it everywhere. If it was some random plastic bottle, I wouldn't care about it. I wouldn't respect it. But if you spend like 15, 20 pounds in a water bottle, bro, you're going to be taking that thing everywhere. When it feels heavy in your hand, when it's made of metal, when it feels really good, and when you know that it's going to help you achieve your goals, it's going to, bro, like, you're going to be drinking that water. You want to make sure that no matter where you're sat, no matter where you are, it's in your peripheral vision. The water bottle is everywhere around you, right? Like, you can always see it, basically, because then when you get thirsty, you can literally just grab it easily and drink it. I'm recording this video right now. My water bottle has been in my sight like this whole time. It's literally less than an arm's reach away because I've been drinking water between when I tell you about the habits. So the real habit is that you're drinking 3 to 4 liters a day. But what you want to be doing, but the way that you achieve that habit is that you buy yourself a nice water bottle. Think about it as a treat. Now, this is going to help you definitely drink more water every single day. Like, no way this doesn't help you drink more water. I know it will. But ever since I started buying water bottles and making sure that I'm known, like, in my household as like carrying this water bottle everywhere, I've never been dehydrated. Another easy way to get in this 3 to 4 liters is that when you wake up, depending on how big you are, drink half a liter to 1 liter every single morning. So you could do this before the fasted walk tomorrow. You literally just wake up, grab some water, down like 2 cups, or maybe you've already bought the water bottle, maybe you do it today, like go on Amazon, quickly order a nice one, metal water bottle, drink about half the bottle, or maybe the full thing, half a liter to a liter every single morning as soon as you wake up, because you're going to be dehydrated after you've slept. The first thing you need to do is to get in your water. It wakes you up, number one, and number two, it knocks out a big chunk of your daily water intake just automatically. Habit number 9, set your daily default meals. So these are just meals that you know that you like the taste of, you know what the calories are. So how you're gonna do this is you're gonna think, okay, what meal do I like? Maybe you like salmon and potato. All you gotta do is measure out how much salmon, and you can literally do this all mentally. You can research how many calories and stuff, and the protein, everything that you need, right? You measure out how much you need, and you just set yourself, okay, maybe it's like, for example, I don't know, random number, 150 grams of raw salmon and maybe 3 whole potatoes. That is going to be like the best kind of nutritional setup for you, right, for this meal. What you're going to do is you're just going to, every single week, if you want that meal once or twice, you buy those ingredients, the raw ingredients, and you cook them up. So now that's like one meal. Another meal could be maybe rice and chicken, and you know that, okay, I need to have about 200 grams of cooked rice, and I need to have 1 chicken breast, and that's going to be my macros like sorted. Now you know that's like default meal number 2. So you're sorted, bro. And what this does is it removes all the decision fatigue in the world, because now you don't have to meticulously track every single thing because you're eating different things every day. You just got to track it once. And once you've tracked your meals once, and you've got the default meals in place, and you know that they're tasty, your fat loss is on autopilot, and you can actually focus on what you really want to do. Your hobbies, your career, you can actually focus on that stuff now because your meals are on autopilot. A big part of where people fall over with tracking their calories and stuff is why they can't stay on the fat loss journey. But when I tell you, you've only got to do it once, and you've just got to figure out what works for you once. Maybe it takes you a week or two, but that is a week or two that sets you up for life. You will understand now what meals you like. These are your default meals. These are set in place. And all you got to do now is just cook them on repeat. Like, just keep doing that for the next 12 to 16 weeks and you'll be in shape. It's as simple as that. And if you want to make the tracking super, super easy, like I've literally moved countries, right? I've moved across the world from the UK to Georgia, and I'm staying here for a few months, right? And I don't have a kitchen scale. So how am I tracking my food? You may ask, right, like, bro, how is he tracking it so accurately? The reason why I track it so accurately is because I just use the raw weight of everything I use. So I'm obviously buying raw chicken breasts, and I know I need to have 250 grams of chicken every single day. So when I go to the butcher, I make sure that I buy a kilogram because then I can divide it into 4 exact chunks of 250 grams. So I know that if I just finish this kilogram of chicken over the next 4 days, maybe one day it's like 220 grams, but then the next day it's like 260. Over the next 4 days, it averages out to 250 grams a day. How sick is that? I do the same with buckwheat, which is like this alternative I use for rice. I do the same with my potatoes. I do the same with bananas. I do the same for my protein powder. Everything. Obviously, protein powder comes in a scoop, but you know what I mean, bro. All you got to do is take the raw weights of what you want to eat in those set meals and divide it by the number of days you need to eat it out, eat it on, and just, bro, that's it. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy. Tracking your calories is easy, and I want you to say it with me, bro. Like, just tell yourself how easy it is, and it becomes easy. Your brain starts to see ways of how to do it easier. And if you've got a kitchen scale anyway, you ask your mum. She probably's got one. My mum's got one. I never even knew. But you just put the plate on, set it to 0, pour in the food, and you can just measure it like that. It's super, super easy, bro. You could easily get it done. For a week or two, just track your set meals, track your default, and then you've literally done it. Final habit, number 10, is to weigh yourself every single day. Every morning when you wake up, you haven't drank water yet, you haven't done anything yet, you just take off your clothes and you weigh your raw morning weight and write it down somewhere. You can either write it down by hand or you can write it in your phone notes. It's nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just literally write down your weight every morning. The main reason we're doing this is to make sure you're actually losing weight. Imagine you're in a calorie deficit and you're like, yeah, man, I think I'm in a deficit. And then 6 weeks pass and you're like, well, I look the exact same. It's like, well, you weren't in a deficit for those 6 weeks, but had you just tracked your weight every day, within 5 days, you would have seen, okay, the trend is just like straight. I'm not losing weight, something needs to change. And you change stuff, you make your adjustments, and then you know what to do. And then your weight starts going down and you can track it. You need to have this data. I know it sounds boring. I know it's like, oh, I'll go away. Bro, you spend like 2-3 hours scrolling a day minimum. So what's 2 or 3 minutes going to do when you just pull out the scale every morning and you weigh yourself? It becomes a fun habit. You're going to enjoy it, man. And when you then pair that with the water every morning, or you pair that with the fasted walk and you skip breakfast, you have black coffees, you're going to be this person that is now changed your entire day. Just like all these little tweaks, these habits that I mentioned in this video, and you're completely in a state of like flow with your fat loss. It's going to be on automatic mode. And I hope you realize that I've basically been using these habits in a way where you can fit it around your full-time commitments, you can fit it around your lifestyle, you can very easily lose weight in the background almost whilst you focus on what's really important to you. I appreciate you watching all the way through, and if you want my help on this journey, just feel free to go in the description and book a call, because going about this with a coach is so much easier and better than doing it alone. If you're still stuck on what meals you should eat, if you're still stuck on how to track your calories, if you're stuck on what workouts to do or like how to make it fit around certain commitments in your life, you work a super busy job, you have like children, I can help you. I can basically take the stress of fat loss away from your brain. You're always thinking about, I need to lose weight, I need to get in shape. But if you haven't done it yet and you've had this thought for the past year, 2 years, maybe even a few months, and you haven't taken any steps to do so, it might be because your life is too full. It might be because you've got too many commitments and you can't prioritize this one thing. So the best thing to do is to just outsource the worry of it to me. I will be the guy that takes on the stress for you, and all you've got to do is show up. I'll make the plan, I'll make the diet, I'll make everything, and I'll make it fit around your lifestyle. We'll work together one-to-one, we'll text each other every day, we'll call each other every week. Anytime that you need, I'll be there for you. I just want to make sure that you go from where you're at now to actually losing the weight and actually getting in shape, because I know what it does for people. I know what it did for me. The confidence, the attraction, everything, it changes your life. Getting down to below 15% body fat, the equivalent for women, right? Your life changes, the quality of life goes up. And if you need that consistency, the accountability, if you need the plan to be made for you, if you need everything done for you because you've got too many commitments in life and you haven't been able to get around to it, then the perfect thing to do is to just book in the call. There's no pressure, it's a free call. We can go through a situation and I'm going to see if I can actually help you, and then we can discuss one-to-one coaching. So let's see if it's right for us, man. Get in the description, book that call. I appreciate you watching this video all the way through. Like, comment, subscribe, and with that, man, sweat or regret. I'm out.